Hey, Anthony. Awesome to have you, brother. I wanted to walk you guys through kind of market activity at this point so you get a better understanding of what we're looking for. So obviously, decent sort of south this morning. We're dropping, the biggest drop is on the Russell at 1.7. The rest are about 0.75%. Over here on the 5-minute time frame, let me see if I can maximize this. Okay, here's kind of what we're looking at. That didn't work out too well for me. Is right here. This is the S&P futures. Okay, and you can see this is a area of supply. We're looking for the breakout here. We get the breakout where we're going to shoot straight back up. NASDAQ futures, we're in that area of supply as well. Okay, again, looking for the breakout to the upper direction. This is your Russell. Okay, so right here, that wick is the area of small time supply. Okay, if I break this down to a 5-minute time frame, you'll be able to see it just like the other charts. And this is just looking at kind of, where's the strength? So Facebook is just breaking out right now. Okay, we've got Tesla up the top here. It's moving to the upper direction. Apple's going through, and I'm looking for this push through because I want to re-enter into plug. So plug is now, we get a high base. We developed a base in the 5-minute time frame. So if we can break out of that base, that gives me permission to enter. So we're starting to get the strength that I'm looking for. Okay, so the S&P is coming through on the top right here. Okay, so it's almost breaking out. Russell is almost. Okay, the Dow has now got the base. It's already above its selling point. Okay, it's coming into previous support here. It's going to be resistance. So we're on the verge of that breakout. Now, if we can get that breakout, then markets will come back up and we'll probably have another positive day. Coming over here to look at your sectors, looking at where's the movement of money coming in. So we got XLV coming through, and XLV is going to be your healthcare sector. Okay, so healthcare is slightly down, only 0.15%, and UNH is the biggest stock on the Dow Jones Industrial. So if healthcare pushes up and we get United Health to push through, that's going to break the Dow out. Okay, and that's going to start pushing these markets through. So this is what we're looking for, is who is in control. So we have a supply level here, and if the buyer breaks through that supply and buyers take back control of the market, right, we then want to look for entries on what to buy. So this is kind of your intraday action, right? Assessing the market. Okay, what do we do? Where do we go? At this point in time, all markets are still in upward directions. All right, we're in uptrend. So we're looking at this as a retracement at this point, looking for the opportunity to jump on board and get involved in the markets. Okay, so this is kind of where we're at, what we're monitoring, what we're watching, and what we're looking for. Okay, so you can see right here, there's still sellers sitting in here, right, putting a little bit of pressure on this. Right, S&P, we're still inside that range, inside that base. Okay, so if the S&P is to break down, you can see the overlap here of the wick to tail. That is a very small time frame demand area. We have the same thing on the NASDAQ in the far right. Okay, so if we do not hold this base right here, then we're going to look for this to hold and see if we can't get the bounce off that little demand. And if we can't break through that little demand area, that means the buyers are in control, with now the sellers pushing all the way up to the top of the wick, taking all the sell orders out of the market. Right, so that's going to give us an indication that we're going to have the strength to be able to push through and get back up to this base drop at a minimum, and get back to where the market opened this morning. Right now, if we break above that, we'll fill the gap. We'll get back to then, this is the closing price of yesterday. Right, closing prices always have remember, closing institution closed markets. So closing price is a very, very powerful area. That's why I always have the closing price up on the index futures. Right, I want to know where they closed yesterday. Right, so you can see the selling pressure here. Okay, just indicated by the red candles. Okay, on the Dow here, right, being indicated by the larger wick than body. Right now you've got this is an oil market down here, oil futures market, drop down into this base and holding. So we're at a demand level in the oil market and holding currently. And it's just a big battle between the buyers and sellers. And XLP starting to see a larger red candle come in. Okay, so really to push this market out, what we want to see is XLK being technology, right? Above it being the financials. And if they can push north, okay, get the industrials to push up, then we'll get the breakout that we're looking for and permission to buy to go long. Plug is sitting at 60.20 as the market starts to push it back up here a little bit. So plug now developing a base on the 5-minute time frame. That gives us a permission, if we can get the indexes to follow through to the upper direction and plug to follow through the upper direction, we've now got a tradable setup on plug, right, to be able to take the entry. Right now, ideally, on plug, I would love to be able to see the full gap fill. That'd be amazing. I'd be able to get a much lower entry. But if the indexes don't participate to be able to come down low enough, plug isn't going to come down low enough. Now, you can already see that this morning on the daily chart here, the volume, right, at 11 o'clock in the morning is already half of what it was yesterday. Right? And we're starting to see that longer tail on the daily chart than the body. So there's a substantial amount of buyers underneath us. You'll see the volume here on the 5-minute chart. Okay, right at the low of the market here is almost the highest volume of the day. Okay, that represents this buyer stepping in off that low price right there. As we're going sideways, okay, volume's dropping out. If we get the breakout, we want to see the breakout on volume. Come back to the indexes. You see the Nasdaq's down a little pressure, just came down to the low, the body, which is the top of the little, very, very small time frame demand area. Okay, we got XLK doing the exact same thing as the Nasdaq futures, which they should align. Right up the top here, you see financials are still small body green candle. Right, industrials are starting to push north. Right, Russell's holding within. Okay, Dow's holding the top of the market. Right, top of the previous candle. So whatever selling pressure we had this morning is up against a large buyer at this point. And buyer's not strong enough just yet to push through. Okay, so just walking you through kind of the mindset of using data to make decision. Right? Obviously, down markets this morning and Nasdaq's down 100 points. Look at that, and you see, Dow's down 250. In today's market, the valuations of the indexes, these aren't big movements. Right? 0.8% is not a big movement in the market anymore. But if you were to look at read the news, right, then there's going to be a lot of fear behind the way the news is written. Right? And that's to create emotion. Right? News needs emotion to be able to sell it. Right? News makes money from selling advertising. So they need eyes on the market. So, the more impactful from an emotional standpoint the headlines can be, right? More eyes on the markets, more eyes on the content, the more they can make. Right, so Nasdaq coming back down into this area. Dow's pushing down. Okay, so we just got the turn on the financials. So now the question is how low can they push it? So Microsoft here had a huge push up into an area of selling. A beautiful little retracement on this. All right, so you big green candle up, little red candles coming down. And so if the indexes can hold, this is going to be a tradable opportunity if these candles can stay small. Right? Merely by just entering above this candle's high. All right, so indexes are being held by buyers. Right, being held by the buyers right here. Okay, there's a day trade opportunity on Tesla here. Okay, so you can see the previous day's close. You can see the resistance right here. Indexes hold, break above this high. We got 845 all the way up to 854. We'll come to this pivot low, it'll be even better. Right? Okay, we can trade that with weekly option contracts that expire today. And you can get into that trade for a couple bucks. If my volume is up, I'll probably hear you. Go for it, Anthony. No, nothing, bud. Yep, now I got you. Now you coming through.
Just on this.
Try now. I think you get, let me see. Okay, try now. You had a double log in there. You probably created that. All right, so NASDAQ is experiencing weakness. All right, NASDAQ must hold this low. It's got to hold the low. You can see the S&P still above this area buying. Right, Russell's still above this area buying. Right, Dow way above it right now. And you can see the selling pressure coming to big tech here. Okay, Amazon coming back down to, there's a little level of demand here. These are small time frame demand levels. Same thing in Microsoft. Okay, Facebook's coming back into a little area of buying here. Okay, NASDAQ's broken the low. Let's come out larger time frame here. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so that's a previous low of yesterday, or previous low of the 12th.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yep, got you now.
Okay, good. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
Microphone settings. That's interesting. So you got you keep up these like indexes, just all the time, like that represent like each sector kind of.
Yep. So index futures are always up. Okay, and then big tech is up majority of the time, and then I can also flick over to the sectors. And so you can see what the strength and weakness is within what sector. So you can see utilities here, as the NASDAQ selling off and the index futures are dropping, you see the buying's coming to utilities. Utilities are a safe haven. Like, just kind of think about it. Utilities are like electricity, gas. They're no matter what. Doesn't matter if you're bankrupt. Whatever money you have, you're going to keep paying your electric bills. I mean, you need it to be able to eat and provide heat. So it's an absolute necessity. So it's common to see when markets are dropping, utilities are rising, because that's the big money going to safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so the highest risk market is technology.
Right.
It's also where you can make this most amount of money.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the concept of risk on, risk off. Risk on is when we're trending upward directions, growing economies, or these days, printing US dollars, not necessarily a growing economy, but printing US dollars, we're going to go to risk because markets will rise because there's going to be greater demand. Where if we're in an economy that's collapsing and falling and that's not the demand, the money's not coming to the market, then money will run to utilities because those stocks won't drop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So another safe haven is gold. Used to be US dollars. Still is to an extent today. But we're slowly seeing that convert over to cryptos and other alternatives because they're printing so much US dollars and US dollars just being devalued so much.
Yeah, it's kind of scary what's what could happen there, but
so yeah, with that type of thing, don't be scared of it. Okay? What you are developing is a skill set to control it.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter what happens in an economy. The best economy you can ever possibly be in from a trading and investing standpoint is an economy that's collapsing. So what's the worst for everybody else is the absolute best for us.
Right.
So you're putting yourself in a position of power and control, right, and financial security because you can trade whatever market in whatever direction you want. So it doesn't matter anymore. And so the more turmoil and negative news that comes into play, the better. The better. You just kind of think of these stocks like, whatever. There's so many of them today. Amazon, $3,000 a share. The economy starts to collapse, which means people aren't going to be buying as much product. Then Amazon's going to go from $3,000 to $1,000, maybe even lower. And we can go short that and make a tremendous amount of money on the downside.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing.
Yeah, that'd be good. That would be good to have that arrow in your quiver.
Yeah. And then it's simply just, click the sell button. That's all we have to do to get short. You got to be in a margin account and hit the sell button. That's it. It's not a complex strategy. It's not some fancy, thing. It's we trade the upside, we buy. You want to trade the downside, you sell.
So is this think or swim, or is this IA itself?
This is IB. This is Interactive
IB.
Yep.
Okay. So this is your setup. This is classic view.
So these are just what they call pages, and you can set these up however you want. I saved this layout, and I'll send it out to you guys. So if you want to use it, you can.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, you're gonna need the screen space to be able to do it. You're gonna have to adjust the sizing to your screen size, etc., which is all pretty simple to do. But it just kind of gives you a foundation to work from, if it can be done. So,
yeah. Mine's pretty barren, so that'd be great. Yeah, I ordered an extra monitor too, so I'll have that soon and get a system going here.
The best thing today is monitors are so cheap. You get just a TCL or a Roku or 4K TV for $300, $200, and it gives you a tremendous amount of screen space.
Yeah. I just got a 27-incher, but yeah, I guess I should have just looked at TVs probably. We'll see how
it's a lot cheaper, and the 4K gives you the higher resolution to be able to fit more on one screen.
Right.
right? And it doesn't need to be a high quality with a fast transfer rate, whatever they call it, because we're not looking at anything that's moving fast like a action movie, or a hockey game.
Yeah. So would you mind maybe taking me through are you on paper right now?
No, no.
Uh, I could.
So at 12 to 1, I'm going to take you through IB basics.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Right on.
So there's a link to that in the Foundations Education room. And we'll walk through that and play some orders and that type of thing and play around with it. So I've done a lot of research on it, and I'll probably have you guys start on Mosaic because the foundational screen of Mosaic is pretty cool, and the order entry for bracket orders is pretty simple.
Okay, cool.
Right? IB's come a long way on their kind of user interface, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool.
Yeah, it's impressive. It's you could tell it's for the serious investors because the TD one that I work through now is just like I don't know, it's not very good. Like I pulled out my landline last night with IA open and it was or IB open and it was it like talked to me. It was like your internet connection has been lost. Like I was just like, whoa, weird.
Yeah.
It's like it has to warn you like your internet's been interrupted somehow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, or it'll tell you if an exchange servers have gone down.
Oh
or
yeah.
exchange are not available for trading at this point in time, etc.
Yeah.
Right, so right now with the index futures, you can see the S&P right here. We held the demand level. That's the buyers in control. So we just got to get through supply. The supply is now weakened. Sorry, supply is weakened. So we're up to this area. So that's going to give us the probability we got to break through. And we're putting in the higher low. We just need to follow through with the higher high. Right, so we're getting that on the S&P. Okay, you can see the long tail coming at the same time frame here. All right, we did put the lower low on the NASDAQ. Okay.
Yeah.
Russell 2000 is doing exactly what I wanted to do. And the Dow is the strongest. Right? So that's what we call relative strength. It's showing us the greatest relative strength. Right? It didn't trade down anywhere near as much as when the other markets did.
What was that last one you said? The Russell?
So the Russell is the small caps.
Small cap America?
Yeah, so the Russell 2000 is the 2000 small cap companies. So they're all under $2 billion values. Right? And that's where the action is right now. So you have four major indexes. You have the S&P 500, it's the 500 biggest. You have the NASDAQ, right? And there's two ways to look at the NASDAQ. So we look at the NASDAQ 100. Right? So you can look at the NASDAQ exchange, which is 3,400 companies, but we look at the NASDAQ 100, which is the top 100, mostly technology companies, but the top 100 listed companies on the NASDAQ exchange. Right? Then the Dow is 30 companies, right? And they range from healthcare to industrials to manufacturing and financials. And then you get the Russell 2000, which is the small caps. Right? The small caps lead the economy. Because that's the smallest size technology-driven companies that are the future of the U.S. economy. Right? So they're the leader. Okay, so and the Russell right now is the strongest from a longer term perspective, is the strongest index. It's where the most amount of money is going to come into, and that's why a lot of the stocks I'm trading are smaller size companies, not big tech at this point.
Yeah.
That's where the money's coming in at this time, and that changes. You'll see right now from day to day, money's rotating from big tech to small caps. And the next day, it's big, small caps, and it's coming out of big tech.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a rotation.
I remember seeing a quote from like Warren Buffett or something. He said, like small cap, if I could play small caps, that's the fastest way to make money in there. But I don't know, maybe I'm butchering it, but he said it's he doesn't.
In today's economy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. Right, so maybe we're coming into the 11 o'clock hour, which means the market's going to slow down, volume's going to drop off. Okay, this is what we're looking for, right? Based on who's in control of the market. Right, we need to
Higher
see
low.
this push above this high here on the S&P. Okay, this high here on the Nasdaq. Okay, these are small areas of supply. That's your drop base drop. Breakthrough supply, buyers in control. Same thing on the Russell over here. Now on the Dow, you've got a trading opportunity. You've got a high base because we've already broken through the selling. And so if we break above this candle's high, you can buy that and trade that long. That's what we call a high base breakout.
What do you normally monitor on hourly?
These right now are all 5-minute time frames.
Okay, fine.
Right now, I don't usually monitor these. We're all on 60 and 30-minute charts. But because of the drop this morning and looking to, I'm looking to re-engage back in plug, but I need index strength to do it. Okay, without the index strength, plug will drop and fill the gap. And so I don't want to buy it at $61 and have it drop down to 53.
Yeah, for plug, you said you need permission to enter at 60, 80?
60, 60, so it's already broken above that. So already broken above it, but I need the indexes to push up. And for plug, I really need the Russell 2000 to push up.
I was looking at it though. I wasn't, where did you get 60, 60 from? Or what did you say, 60? Yeah.
Yep. So let me show you.
Because I saw like I don't know, the DZ that I saw was like lower, and then.
So again, this is on small time frame. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is 5-minute chart.
It gapped up on the day, right? Today?
No, we gapped down. So this is where we closed yesterday.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We gapped down, traded straight down.
Yeah.
Right, breaking below this low, hit my stop loss. Okay, so that's locked in the profit from that transaction. So now all I'm doing is taking a portion of that profit and going in and actually buying more, increasing the position size. But I'm not just going to do it blindly. Oh, well, you know, it's not the old thinking where people say, hey, I'll just take, you know, what I made from kind of thing when you go to the casino. You know, people go, look, I'll take the profits and I'll risk the profits. Okay, I'll risk my winnings so that way I can't really lose.
Yeah.
I can't operate that way. This is my business. Sure. So it's not take the profits and put those at risk. It's come in, trade correctly, and I'm taking a small portion of that profit, but not risking it and waiting for the setup. So this is the supply area right here that we need to break above. So you can see this candle right there has already broken above. All right, so we've taken that supply out, but we're just sitting here going sideways. Yeah. So we can get the indexes to push up, which we've just got the S&P's just broken a high. So you're going to see these start to run. NASDAQ is almost going to get above this high right here.
Yes, it's on a different screen.
Yep. Let me jump back over. Okay, so S&P's breaking through.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yep. NASDAQ has not just yet. So you got to take out those final few sellers and then possibly we can. Right, there's the breakout on the Dow. And he's going to deal with the little supply area just above us here. Now the Russell hasn't followed through of what we need it to do. Right. So we can get follow through in the other indexes, the S&P and the NASDAQ, and then we'll start to see the Russell chase it a little. Okay, but without Russell participation, plug's not going to move. Okay, so over here on the sectors, you can see money moving into big tech. Okay, money coming into XLP, consumer staples. Okay, we got an opportunity here of a breakout on energy. You can see down the bottom right here is the energy futures. They've got a long way to move back up, which will allow that breakout to work. We got to get follow through yet. Okay, so we had the big push, but no follow through. Okay, and we're missing the push on the Russell here. And so by looking at sectors, that can then enhance your probability of what stock to trade. So if you buy the stock in a sector and money's flowing into, that increases the probability of that stock going up. Or if you're looking to go short, where money's coming out of, that increases the probability of that stock dropping. So ideally what we want to see is utilities drop. That means money's moving out of safety, going back to risk as the indexes follow through from that push up. So even if the indexes can form a little base here, which is just a series of candles going sideways, then we get a break above that the candle's highs.
Oh yeah.
If then you'll see kind of the buying rush back into the markets.
So is the Russell 2000 like a stock, like an ETF stock, or is it is it in the futures market, like you're tracking an actual futures?
So the Russell 2000 is actually an index, just
Okay,
like
so
the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, they're
okay.
indexes. So they're mathematical calculations of a group of stocks.
Yeah.
So there is an ETF on it. And just like, so IWM is the ETF on the Russell 2000. Right? Just like SPY is the ETF on the S&P 500 index.
Okay.
The way we can trade any of those is we can trade them through the ETF market, we can trade them through futures markets, and we can trade options on the ETF or the futures market.
Okay.
But they're not actual stocks. All right, so we're getting the money flowing into technology sector.
Yeah, that's good.
And we're not getting the push through on the futures yet. And the other thing we'd like to see is the financials push through to the upside. Now push the S&P in the upper direction. Right. Okay, so big one, Apple's on the move.
Yeah.
Second largest stock in the markets. So that's going to have a huge influence on the NASDAQ and the S&P breaking out. If we can get Amazon to do the same thing, that'll push the S&P futures through. Okay, now we're starting to get the Russell to turn green for us here. $60.30. So plug. That was the alert set on plug.
Oh, wow. Oh, that was the Amber Alert or something.
So
That was serious.
it's pushing up into the area for the breakout, but it hasn't broken out yet. There goes the S&P. NASDAQ's not following just yet. Four. Um, $8.50s. $4. All right, so you see here on the S&P, now let's get a rally, base, rally.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's formed a demand zone after breaking through supply. Buyers are back in control of the market. Okay, you're starting to see the Russell starting to chase now. Okay, so NASDAQ's coming up into an area of supply. The high of the market this morning the Dow is coming up to an area of supply.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the S&P is going to come up into a resistance area here, 3771. So we have to expect a little bit of pushback on it. And then we got a day trade opportunity on Tesla if it breaks out. Maybe we'll be breaking through yesterday's close, get above the day's high here. And Tesla you can trade for about $4.80 a share right now in the options market.
When do you think you'll run that options course, Dale?
We're going to be starting the first week of February.
All right.
The amount of time it takes to build content, and there's a lot to teach to be able to break down options, so it's somewhat simple to understand.
Yeah, options, they kind of lose me,
It's the most
Slippery.
complicated market to learn.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. So we're on the verge of the breakout for plug. $67.6. 11:30. Five, 4. As you can see, the S&P coming up to the previous low here. Having a little bit of a hard time. Okay, Dow up into the supply area. Okay, so this is exactly what we said would happen. It's going to have a little bit of pressure here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to be surprised to see this come back down into a little demand area. If it's truly strong, it'll stay up there in base and then push through. All right, we got to push through to green markets for the day. 60, 70. Right, so you're starting to see the NASDAQ here. A little bit more volatility. In other words, pushing up and down. Right, Russell needs to get above this high. Right, so we need to see the money come into technology. We need to see money come into financials. Right, flowing into energy, there's a low supply level on energy right here. We're going to hit that right now.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
All right, guys, I'll see you in about 25 minutes or so. We'll do the IB basics.
Right on. Yeah, I'll be watching till then. All right. Well, yeah. See you in a half hour.
Yep.
Okay. Take it easy.
The link's in the foundation room.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, we'll see ya.
Later.